close your eyes.
Got a win in the 5. So it's absolutely horrible.
Nestled in the rolling hills just outside of Austin, Texas, tonight drivers are set to take on our first road course of the season, Circuit of the Americas. Good evening, everybody. I'm Eliza Bethel, and I'm in the booth with Pete Ruzick, and we're here for SnB's Cup Series presented by WoodyxCA. Pete, I know we tried to get this accomplished last week. We had some technical difficulties, but how you feeling about tonight?
Well, it's take 2 in Texas, Eliza. I'm glad to be back. And yeah, we got about 25 cup drivers out here about ready to tackle this just about 3.5-mile track. It's about 110 degree track temp, 80 degree air. I think it's going to be a phenomenal night. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited that we're finally getting to race this, but man, oh man. We've talked about this a little bit. Calamity Corner, turn 1, lap 1. Are you going to be on the more positive side of this coming into tonight, or how you feeling about that?
Well, as always, Eliza, I go through each and every one of the team comments before race, wishing everybody luck and kind of getting a feel for how they think it's going to go. Some were saying that, turn 1's going to be really, really sketchy, but I'm going to stay on the positive side. Last week, when it didn't all work out due to some iRacing issues, those that were able to get in and stay ran a little bit of a practice race, and turn 1, lap 1 wasn't all that bad. I'm hoping tonight, when there's real points on the line, they keep that going, and we'll have a really positive race.
Absolutely. I think, I say this in all the road courses. It doesn't matter if it's F1, IndyCar, NASCAR. You got to get past turn 1, lap 1. If you can do that, and I guarantee you guys, we're going to see at least 3 to 5 wide. Hopefully, They're going to be a little bit of patience with turn 1. But man, oh man, positioning is just so incredibly important here. You want to qualify well. You want to make sure that you're out front so you can miss all the calamity that goes on in turn 1. However, you also have some that the brakes, they're cold, the tires are cold. If they gas it up too much going to turn 1, if you're out front, you just may find someone up your bumper. So we'll see what happens here tonight. But I do want to give a shout out to everyone in chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Chloe, David, Papa Bear, who is in race control for us. I appreciate it. You guys have a great night. Enjoy the race.
Yeah, turn 1, lap 1. When you're talking about the brakes, Eliza, the brakes on these cup cars, they aren't worth very much to begin with. Even with all the updates that iRacing has had, just the brake package on these cars are horrible. I mean, you even think about Andrew Wisdom last week at Bristol. or 2 weeks ago now at Bristol. He actually had a miscue going down pit road on the final stop. He ended up having to restart. I think he said 19th and worked his way back up to fourth, or maybe it was ninth up to fourth, something like that. But even the best of them have issues with the brakes in these cars. So I think the different braking points, the different gas points at a track like COTA, it's going to be interesting, but I'm going to stay positive.
Absolutely. We're on board with Rivers Jones, and you can see he's trying to warm up those tires. You can see him going back and forth, trying to get the heat into that so that you use your first lap to warm it up. Make sure you get all the grip that you can because you need the speed in order to get that pole position. So you can see him out there. These guys are going to take it real gentle in that first lap, and then you just have to go all out for your faster laps out there. We'll see what Rivers can do. But for the fastest, we had Andrew Wisdom. I do believe he was the fastest in practice. We also had Matthew O'Brien and Jordan McGraw. So I'm kind of curious where they will end up in qualifying.
Yeah, so far Jacob Locklear, he's showing fastest in, I believe that's going to be his warm-up lap. Dylan Robb, Chuck Cody, Micah Allard, and Jose Ruiz. But it's the fastest times when it's all said and done. Talking about that number 91 Coca-Cola machine, he's kind of doing what Brad Keselowski and Jamie McMurray. I know this is taking it back a few maybe years, but the way they used to tackle places like Sonoma or the Glen, they would go really, really slow, rock it back and forth, get the tire pressures up a little bit, get a little bit of heat up, get the tires to where they wanted them, and then, like you said, go all out on that money lap.
Yeah, you have to. We're on board with Jose Ruiz, and I know he is looking forward to the race tonight. A lot of these guys are a little nervous, though. If you are an oval driver and you're not a big fan of road courses, this is one of those tracks where it is so technical and it is very, very difficult. As Pete said earlier, the brakes just do not stop, sometimes how you want it, actually pretty much ever. So you have to really back up your entry and be very gentle on the throttle coming out of the exit. Otherwise, you will lose it. So you're going to see these guys kind of struggle. We may see some singular spin outs out here, but knock on wood, I'm not expecting any caution tonight, Pete. I hopefully I didn't just jinx it.
No, I think we're gonna be pretty solid with the no cautions. The only way cautions, I believe, fly here in Shake and Bake is if the track is blocked due to some kind of enormous, the big one style wrecks that we might see at Daytona or Talladega or somewhere like that. But other than that, if it's a one-car spin, two-car spin, but they can both get them up, get going, grab a gear, and get the car heading back in the right direction, we should stay green all night long.
You said it, Pete. Yeah, unless the track is blocked, these guys will stay green. But let's take a look at the penalties. You can get up to 21x. If you hit 21x, you will have to do a drive-through penalty, and that will happen every 10x after that. So 21x, 31x, 41x. That is a lot of penalties that you can incur. I don't expect that we're going to see a ton of those, but you do have to stay within the limits here, and they are very, very strict. So you can see these guys, you'll see them slow. What seems to be down to a crawl. Turn one up here, you see Andrew Sanford is making his way up here. Has to slow all the way down to the first gear and just very slowly wind it around, and then he's going to get on that throttle as fast as he can, going through the next corner, probably in second to third gear, try to make his way through the S's.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate. This is one of the tracks that iRacing really does need to do a few updates on, because the areas where the cars and the F1 and the Indy style cars, where they can use parts of the track for runoff, these cars can't, because they count as an off track, which is an immediate 1x. And with the number of laps that we've got here tonight, that could easily rack up. So these guys have to be extra careful to avoid any kind of substantial penalty.
You said it, Pete. Let's take a look. We have Wisdom on the board so far with the pole, and he was the fastest in practice. He has a 2:13.55, and O'Brien just passes him over with a 2:13.52. Matt Burgess, he is out there with a 2:15.06. Thomas Flitcroft, he is one of the fastest in practice also. He's got a 2:15.13. So the top five, very, very close in time, but even then, it's a 2 second difference there, Pete.
Yeah, it looks like Rivers Jones in that number 91 Coca Cola machine right now, sitting P5. He made use of that slow lap, didn't abuse his tires, didn't abuse his car by making a mistake and possibly ending up in a wall somewhere. But how about Matt O'Brien and Andrew Wisdom as Jordan McGraw now? He's going to go ahead and push Matt Burgess down to P4. Old J Mac putting that number 34 Sega Genesis Chevrolet into P3. But Andrew Wisdom was fastest in practice. I saw Matt O'Brien and Andrew kind of running back to back quite a bit, lap after lap, turn after turn. Maybe Andrew Wisdom gave a little bit too much guidance to Matt because it looks like right now Matt will start on pole.
Yeah, it looks like he will be on pole. And while we're waiting, let's take a look at the point standings so far. We have Holzer. He's going to be in the lead with 95, but he is tied with Matthew O'Brien, both with 95 points. And third, we have Thomas Harmon with 86, who is also tied with Rivers Jones with 86. And fifth, we have Thomas Flitcroft with 85 points. Sixth is going to be Wisdom. Seventh is Berg with 80. Jose Ruiz has 77, sitting P8. Jimmy Cocker has 74 points, sitting P9. And tied for P10 is going to be Brendan Book and Cody Kalinka with 73 points. So extremely close, very competitive for these top spots.
Absolutely. And the guy on top there, tied with Matt O'Brien, James Holzer. So far, I don't see James as being entered into the race to. No, actually, I take that back. Right now, he's sitting P4.
He is P4, fast lap time out there. We didn't see him at all in practice, but here he is with a 2:15.04. Leading the 2:15s out there, Jordan McGraw, the only one out there with a 2:14. Quite a few 2:15s, so I think we're going to have a nice battle between fourth all the way up to about eighth, which is going to be a fun one to watch for sure. So a lot of competition, and take a look at all those 2:16s. That's going to be another competitive pack out there, but qualifying is quickly coming to a close, and we'll be going green shortly.
Yeah, still got a few guys out there taking their time. Looks like Joe Turley's out there, Jimmy Cocker, and just as I say that, queue is up. So some guys, if they tried to wait it out just a little bit, they waited too long and will have to be relegated back by points or their previous practice times. But Eliza, we're going green.
We are going green, and let's get this grid moving. We have Matthew O'Brien in that 43 machine. He's going to be pulled tonight, so a huge congratulations to him. He's for Nitro Motorsports. And on the outside, we have Andrew Wisdom in that 51 machine. Row 2, we have Jordan McGraw with James Holzer on the outside. Row 3 is Matt Burgess in that 12 machine with Tom Flitcroft on the outside. Row 4 is going to be Rivers Jones in that 91 car with Cody Kalinka on the outside. And row 5, we have Brody Falliker in that one machine with Thomas Harmon in the 68.
Yeah, Brendan Book's going to bring that number 5 to P11 with Micah Allard, one of his best friends, to the outside in that 61. Jose Ruiz in the 23, starting P13 with Matt Gale from the UK in the 67, starting P14. Row number 8 is going to be Joe Turley in the 97 and Francis Hamilton in the 48 to his outside. Joe Berg in that 93, rocking P17 with Jimmy Cocker in the 11, starting 18th. 19th, the one and only Luke Allen in the 7 with Andrew Sanford in the 37 to his outside.
Jacob Locklear is going to be in the 21st position with Jacob Palmer 22nd. We're going to have Dylan C. Robb 23rd with Chuck Cody on the outside and 24th. And last but not least is going to be Kevin Delator in the 25th position in that 92 machine. So that is your field tonight. I'm excited to get it started. Man, a fun road course, but it is very technical. These guys are going to just have to get into a rhythm of everything and make sure that they know their braking points. Got to remember, those tires are cold, the brakes are cold. It's going to be one heck of a start.
Yeah, it's going to be one heck of a start. And again, that turn one calamity corner, calamitous corner, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be interesting to see, the people that started up front on speed, they've got the track down. You got teammates, being the 43 and the 51. You got a whole field behind them, and you got some really fast cars in the back that we're normally talking about week in and week out on ovals. Do you want to be up front? Are you worried about getting jammed up in the rear just a little bit? The guys that are in the back, do they kind of stay back just a little bit if they're feeling pretty good about the practice times that they've had over the last couple weeks? What are we about to see?
I don't know. It's all up in the air, but I'll tell you what. I want to be out front. You got to be able to trust the guys behind you. I mean, we have a great group of guys. I would say if you're out in
I agree.
an official, yeah, I mean, you're taking your life into your own hands here. It's going to be a huge risk, but hopefully these guys have patience. Remember that the brakes are not going to go well for this first corner. You have a long straight that you're going to build up speed, so it is a huge risk. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Basani, I see out there, David, Jacob, who's in one of the cars out here tonight, so good luck to him. Hopefully these guys have a good race, and you have Matthew O'Brien sporting a new paint scheme tonight.
Yeah, Matt O'Brien bringing a Family Dollar red and gold or red and yellow colors to the front row. Eliza, we got two more turns. They're making their way through the first. The one more turn off of the last corner coming to the start straight. Pace car is off. We are going green from COTA. It's been anticipated for 2 weeks. Let's get it rolling.
Here we go. You're getting ready. You can hear the pit lane sirens going off there for the pace car, but Matthew O'Brien will lead us off, and we are getting ready to go green. Here we go at Circuit of the Americas. Let's go. You can see the 17 just all over the back bumper, takes it all the way down low, 2 cars over, and these guys are 3 wide. Matthew O'Brien very, very close to Andrew Wisdom, gets into Holzer. These guys 4 wide for P2, Pete.
Oh, Brendan Book off it to the inside wall, but yeah, that was the pretty big issue going into one. 3 wide, like you said, 17, 30, I'm sorry, 43, and the 51. They were somehow able, for the most part, to avoid any real big issues, but I definitely saw the 5 of Brendan Book go off course and tag that inside wall.
Andrew Wisdom is our leader. Tom Flitcroft makes his way to P2. James Holzer, after an insane start, just diving it down low, he's going to start his run here. P3, Jordan McGraw in 4th. Cody Kalinka in 5th. Matt in 6th, but Matt O'Brien, he's going to be 8th. And we have Rivers Jones, who is falling back a little bit, lets off, and he is still back running.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of a flag pop up for the 17 of James Holzer, but it looks like he's still on the go. He did lose 1 spot. Looks like Tom Flitcroft was not only able to get by the 17 of Holzer, but also get by the 34 of Jordan McGraw as well.
Now, last season, let's talk about this season so far. Matt O'Brien is the only driver with 3 top 10s. Pete, do you think he can hold on to that today?
Judging by his practice speed and his qualifying time, he knows how to get it done. I just think it was the anticipation and the aggressive nature of turn 1 by the top 3. And this is where you really settle in. You start to really race the track. Once you come across your competitors, you take them on a spot where maybe you're just a little bit better. Maybe you try to outbrake them, turn in just a little bit more. We got a long race to go. We're still only lap 1 of 31. Eliza, we're talking a mile a minute, and they haven't even gone a full lap yet.
Absolutely insane. And Matt O'Brien was, wait a minute. Wisdom was the one who won last season. O'Brien took home 3rd last season, Holzer 4th, and Matt Burgess, he was in the top 5. So I'm kind of curious. We're going to have to keep our eye on these guys and see how they finish. But Wisdom, I mean, he took that lead early on, and he's trying to stay there.
Yeah, it looks like a Wisdom actually, or I'm sorry, Matt Burgess in that number 12 A&W machine. He just got looped around off the front bumper of somebody else, maybe somebody else trying to self clear or what exactly happened. I'm not 100% sure, but that A&W root beer machine was missed by everybody else. Just has to right it and grab a gear, get going.
Yeah, it looks like Brody Falliker caught his quarter panel back there. It spun him around. He kept going, but man, tough break for Matt. He's got the speed, so hopefully he can make his way back up. But right now he's currently sitting P19.
So that's going to be a little bit of a drop for him. But again, I think this 12 machine can work his way on back through. Top five not really changing all that much. And talking about Andrew Wisdom and his finish last year in most of the road courses. This is just like this. Any road course is in his wheelhouse, and you'll even hear a little bit of a joke among all the other team and team comms who's racing for second.
So true. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. If you can, go check out WoodyxCA. I put the link in chat there. He streams NASCAR Heat, Warzone. Give him a follow, show him some love, and be sure to tune back here when you're finished. I'm seeing a lot of red, Pete, which means some of these guys are wrecking. Let's take a look. Andrew Sanford was apparently one of them. Let's see how he's doing, but it shows that he is A-OK. Brendan Book, though, out on pit lane here trying to repair his car. Not quite sure what happened to him, but he's been there for a little while.
Yeah, Brendan Book, he was part of some kind of an issue very, very early in turn one. Completely, I don't know if he got doored or what happened, but he literally went to the inside wall. I didn't wait to see what happened after or how long he was going to stay there or even check to see what kind of damage he had because there was a whole lot going on right at that moment.
Let's go on board with Andrew Wisdom, our current leader, and see how he makes his way around COTA.
Andrew Wisdom from what? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying he's making his way around the S's, and you can see he's just got to take it so gently. The car gets really upset. There's a lot of elevation change. We're going to go downhill right now over a quick curb and straight in, and then almost what I'm going to call a paper clip here, but it is a very fast corner.
Yeah, very fast. And something that I mentioned to Andrew Wisdom and Matt O'Brien, and I believe there's one more in their team. Andrew is very, very good in the breaking points. And it seems like that was really where he was catching up to Matt O'Brien, as well as a few others during practices, kind of keeping an eye on him just because of his history at road courses. And he was very, very good in the breaking points.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely got these down. I know he puts in some time for it, so it definitely pays off. We're on lap 3 of 31. These lap times, though, 2 minutes, 13 seconds. I mean, that's a long track to make sure that you nail every last one of them. I know I can't, and I can tell you my lap times are probably around a 2:18, so I would not be faring well out here.
All right, well, if you were running 2:18s, you'd be about P11 to P13 right now. So you wouldn't be too bad out there in that purple and gold shake and bake number 64. I'm sure you'd be just fine. But yeah, this 51, I was really surprised. The road courses, like I mentioned, have been his forte. But between season 1 and season 2, he really came alive in the ovals as well. And look at that. Last season went on to claim the championship.
Yeah, he sure did. Brought home that trophy from season 2. We'll see if he can do that again. But Tom Flitcroft, I mean, he's got a huge lead over him, almost 4 seconds at this point. We have Jordan McGraw, who just had a really rough start so far to season 3, but he is doing a remarkable job out here making it through turn 1, lap 1, and just running some really solid times. He's going to be P3 with Holzer. He's out there P4 right now.
Yeah, Jordan McGraw, there's definitely something to be said about his tenacity and the way that he attacks every single track. There is a no quit attitude in this guy, and he shows it here on Monday nights. He shows it on Tuesday nights. Anytime I've seen him, he'll sit there and he will allow the car to be fixed, as long as it's not like too bad, like 20, 30 minutes or something like that. But there is a very big no quit attitude in driver 34.
You got to have that. If you want to succeed and you want to get better, you have to do that. And he's got the patience for it. There's some times where I don't, and I know a lot of other drivers, if you have that much damage and whatnot, we probably just pull it in the hauler and call it a day. You can see him really checking up. That's going to be Holzer right behind him and try to knock it into Jordan McGraw right there. But man, oh man, that was a close call. Matt O'Brien, how about that? He's all the way back up to fifth
Yep.
after a rough start. So this man is on the move, and we're seeing him make his way up through the field. But these guys are so incredibly close. Not the lead, but the battle for second and on can change at any point, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we watched the 17 really lock him up, not to get into Jordan McGraw. And now watching him come off the corners, he is every which way but squirrely. And the 43 has been able to close in. And that's exactly what we were talking about earlier. He lost a bunch of spots. It was all the way back in 8th or ninth. Now back up to P5. And it looks like James Holzer, his tires were so angry, he decided to bring it on down pit road.
We haven't talked much about tires, but unless you're doing something crazy out here, you really don't need the tires tonight. It's not going to matter that much as you think. So I'm not sure if he has some damage. It's quite possible that he does. But if not, maybe he is taking the tires. Maybe he knows something that we don't. But I'm not suspecting that these guys will take tires tonight.
Yeah, for a second, it looked like the 17 called it an evening. But then it looks like he came back, so maybe just blinked out for a moment or two. But yeah, that with the 17 going on down pit road, that's going to put the 43 of Matt O'Brien P4, and Brody Falliker in that one rocks out P5.
Yeah, take a look at that. We saw him with an earlier incident, but he is on the move. Shown so much speed this season, and he's really kind of, toned in on it. So it's really fun to see him doing really well this season. I think we're going to see him up here in this race tonight. You can see him looking very, very solid. He's got a nice grip on the wheel and a lot of control with it. So it's going to be really fun to see.
Yeah, Brody Falliker really turned it on in season 2. He was up there with the likes of Wisdom and Holzer and a few others several times in about the second half of season 2. This number one blue FIWB Esports Camaro was very, very fast last year. I expect him to pick up that momentum at the beginning of this year.
I agree. I'm getting notice that Micah perhaps wrecked. He is still on the move, but I don't know if he lost any positions from it. It says he came back on track, went off. So he is down to 3 spots from where he started. Matt and that 12 machine, though, really unfortunate. You see him going around 12 through 16 in the turns. He is down 9 spots from where he started. I know he's got to be very frustrated with the way his race has started.
Yeah, there's a few people. Matt O'Brien was one. It looks like Rivers Jones, he's down 2 spots from where he started right now, sitting P number 9. Matt Burgess, again, we kind of covered him a bit. The 61 of Micah Allard down 3. Joe Turley in that 97 Camaro right now sitting P16. He's down a few spots, but Holzer down 19. Brendan Book after his woes, and Joe Berg also down multiple laps each.
Our biggest move of the night so far is going to be Jimmy Cocker and that 11 Toyota. He's looking really, really strong tonight, and he's another one that I've seen just incredible speed throughout these seasons. Getting better and better every race. So that is another fun driver to watch out here. A couple of these drivers, James Holzer minus 19 spots after heading in. Brendan Book minus 13 spots, but he is back out on track. So we'll see where he will come out. But no, it doesn't show that they are back on track, Pete. We'll see if they, yeah.
Mm-mm. Nope. It's and back to the 11 of Jimmy Cocker. Our season one Daytona winner last year. He got a couple of wins as well, and he's got a great a set of resources to pull from as far as pinions and brake bias and all that goes. FIWB is very very deep in drivers. I think they've actually got what, three teams here in Shake if I'm not mistaken. So there's all different kinds of opinions, so many different ways to drive a car, especially around a 3.5 mile road course such as COTA.
They have two teams out here. Now, technically, we only allow one team of four. They kind of bent the rules and I let it go. So we have an FIWB Toyota team that has four members, which are Jimmy Cocker, Dylan Robb, Andrew Sanford, and Andrew Zaff. And on the FIW Chevy team is going to be Brody Falliker, Chuck Cody, Francis Hamilton, and Joe Berg. So a very full lineup for the FIWB team.
Very full lineup, and again, there's a lot of those guys that are very very strong. And for Team FIWB, it's been a pretty good toss between Brody Falliker in that number one and the 48 of Francis Hamilton. Can't sleep on him right now, sitting P10, up 6 spots.
Up 6 spots, looking really good out there. And you can just see these drivers lined up in a long train. They are starting to get separated, but there's still quite a few packs out here. But take a look at Andrew Wisdom. Jordan McGraw has since moved into P2. O'Brien has fallen. He's actually come up to P3. It is Tom Flitcroft who has fallen to 4th. But Wisdom has a 7-second lead over P2, which is Jordan McGraw.
I asked Andrew Wisdom last week, so what's going to be the gap between you and P2? He goes, I'll be about 7 seconds behind behind the 17. So obviously this week it's not going to come to fruition like that because James Holzer now down several laps in 23rd. So Andrew Wisdom's closest competition, I think, is going to be Matt O'Brien. If Matt can get back up there, he was faster than him for qualifying. In the long run, maybe not so. But J-Mac may have something to say in that number 34 Team FTR Sega Genesis Camaro.
You can see that some of these drivers, I'm kind of curious if Holzer, he's still out in pits, but Brendan Book, he is out along with Joe Berg. So unfortunate for those guys. 25 to go for these drivers. So we're only several laps in here, but man, it is going to be a long night. These, the technical tracks like this, it doesn't take a long time, but it is absolutely exhausting for such a technical track and trying to nail every corner entry, every corner exit. And when you're in turn one, lap one through the first lap completely, you have a lot of cars around you. So you'll hear a lot of these guys afterwards say how exhausted they are.
Absolutely. They really will be. Lefts and rights and uphill, downhill, blind corners. So many different things about COTA. And there's no way that you're going to be able to nail them all. A lot of the guys were just simply saying, I'm going to try to keep it on track. And sometimes, Eliza, with a track as long as this, as technical as it is, and with so many turns, that is really the best thing you can do. Especially if, you're not in Andrew Wisdom where this kind of a track is right in your wheelhouse.
On board with Jose Ruiz, and you can see a long line that he is with. We have Matt directly behind him in that 12 machine, so he's going to be putting the pressure on Jose, and Jose's just got to look at the track in front of him, not worry about what's behind him, just hit his marks and keep that position. This is for P13. He's got Matthew Gale directly in front of him in 12th, and Luke Allen in 11th in that 7 Mountain Dew machine.
Yeah, how about Jose Ruiz in that U.S. Air Force Team FTR number 23? He's rocking Columbia colors this week, kind of mixing it up as well. But he's actually the one and only driver that is still in the spot that he qualified in. He started P13, still riding right there. And as you said, surrounded by Matt Gale out of the UK and Matt Burgess, who has had a pretty interesting race so far.
Absolutely. And this is tough because this season we've changed it. There are no playoffs. We're going from start to finish. So there's no resetting the points. You're just going based on your performance of the season. That was voted in by the drivers. That's what they chose. So that is how we're running it this season. So you really don't have an off week, Pete. You have to make sure that you do well in every single race if you want a chance at that championship.
Absolutely, this is the way that NASCAR did it years and years ago before, the chase and the playoffs and resetting round 16, 12, 8, 4 and only 4 drivers racing for a championship. Now in this kind of a format, you've got to be consistent every single week. And then if you can't, you got to hope that those that are up there you'll have some kind of an off week. Just like right now, is Holzer possibly getting his off week out of the season early, and he'll be really, really strong from here. We'll have to see. But right now, P2 in points, kind of licking his chops a little bit.
Absolutely. Dylan C. Robber on board with him. A little bit of trouble as he is making his way through the corner. You're going to see these guys go off out of bounds here. It's so easy to do. You have to really kind of woe it down quite a bit around these corners and delicately make your way through. Get on the throttle as fast but as gentle as possible. And that is not an easy task to accomplish. And some of these drivers are having a little bit of difficulty. Joseph Turley, Dylan, Kevin, Jacob, Palmer. Some of these guys having a little bit of difficulty here tonight. But I gotta say, Pete, I'm super proud of these guys. A very difficult technical track. It is no oval, that is for sure, and one of the hardest, in my opinion, on the NASCAR circuit.
Absolutely, yeah. Dylan Robb, he actually wasn't going to race. He was very, very hesitant. But you know what? If you could do what he tries to get back on track there, if you could do what he's doing, and even if you come in, 25th in points tonight, you're still gonna beat 8 or 9 guys that would normally show up on any given oval. So he's gaining some points where some others missing out.
I mean, you got to take advantage where you can and just coming out tonight. If it's not your cup of tea and maybe you're just really awful at it, I haven't seen anyone really awful at it tonight. These guys are doing a phenomenal job. But yeah, I'd be coming out here too. You got to get the points. And I can tell you, I'm not good at it, but I'd be taking those points.
Yeah, I've never been much of a points racer. I kind of proved that at a Talladega race that we ran recently, where everybody said, "Oh, we got to go, 170 mile an hour at a 2.5 mile juggernaut super speedway," and I just couldn't do it. I had to lay the hammer down and get going. Yeah, I pulled away a little bit, and I lost time because, well, yeah, everybody just kind of jet on by me as being able to save that much fuel. But I am not that kind of a racer. I want to get out there. I want to race. I don't like saving fuel, and I don't like tracks where the brakes are needed.
Too wide for P2 and Matt O'Brien. He made the pass right there, but Jordan McGraw is saying, not yet. I want to fight for a position right here. Right now, he's going to tuck in position behind him as they head through the S's. And man, oh man, you can feel the sense of urgency for these guys as they're making their way through.
Yeah, what you call it, Jordan McGraw was a little bit of disadvantage there, not quite able to see the marks in the middle of those corners. So while Matt O'Brien had everything in his windshield, Jordan McGraw just kind of had to lay back, maybe missed 1 or 2 entrances, but he's still right now sitting P3.
Yeah, O'Brien, though, moves up to second. And if you guys recall, he was out there on pole. So very, very interesting. He's had a tough race, but man, this is one of those things where you don't give up. And here he is back in second. He's got a ways to go if he wants to make it into that lead spot. In fact, almost 10 seconds. Wisdom is just having a massive run. He's doing a phenomenal job. He looks so strong out there, and it's going to be tough to catch him.
Absolutely. Andrew Wisdom is just absolutely lights out. Just hit 10 seconds square on Matt O'Brien. His fastest lap, Eliza, he's the only one in the 13s. Everybody's 214 and above. So Andrew Wisdom going to Plaid.
I don't know how he does it, but yeah, that's insane. 213. The next up is going to be low 214. So Great job to him out there. David, he says, love that scheme. Miss the Sega Genesis. And that's going to be Jordan McGraw on that 34 machine. Stratus, I hope you're doing well. Hopefully you're able to join in the race. I know he's having some iRacing difficulties, but hopefully he's got that fixed. Jordan McGraw is still right behind O'Brien, so we'll see if he can't make any moves on that gap. Very, very short gap there, so we'll see what happens. Thomas Flitcroft is going to be out there in fourth. He is about 15 seconds behind the leader, so doing a great job, though.
Yeah, I've never really known Tom Flitcroft to be much of a road racer. I guess I just didn't know that much about him. Being that I've known him since NASCAR '09, I really thought I would have had a better clue, Eliza. I guess not. Look at Tom go through those S's like a champ.
You know, I think he's put in a lot of time. I've seen him out there practicing. We've talked about it a little bit, and he's put in the time, the effort, and you can see a massive improvement for him. I think he's always done well, I know on the Xbox side, but definite improvement here. Rowdy, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Stratus, glad to hear it is fixed. All right, let's take a look at Brody Falliger. He is up 4 spots, sitting P5 in that one machine. We have Thomas Harmon, who he's named his stream something to the gathering of, can't we cancel this Frozen this week?
Yeah, there were quite a few kind of lobbying for that last week, and well, they got their wish by virtue of iRacing not exactly being up to par. But yeah, Tom Harmon right now up 4 spots in that Avril Lavigne very, very familiar number 68 Camaro. And Tom Harmon is another one. Week in and week out, we're talking about this driver and what he's capable of. And again, he is actually very, very good at saving fuel. He's very good on these road courses. He's very good at being patient, but he also knows when to attack as well.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at Jimmy Cocker and Cody Kalinka. These guys were side by side fighting for 7th. Cody, he's put in a lot of time here. He was actually at a game last week when we were supposed to run it, and he said, I was at a game for a reason. So unfortunately for him, it got moved over to this week. So he is out here, but I can tell you he's put in the time and the effort, and he is looking solid with a P8 so far, and he was battling it out for 7th. So huge props to Cody out there, looking great.
Yeah, Cody, you're right back where he qualified, so nothing gained, nothing lost so far. I'm sure he'd definitely love to move forward a few spots, or maybe a little bit more than a few. Cody Kalinga definitely won. I hated the last season I saw him in just because a lot of the issues that he had were really very few or far in between any issue that he caused. Just a wrong place, wrong time. Needed a new horseshoe that had never been tipped. So good job by Cody Kalinga so far for being solidly inside the top 10.
Absolutely. Rivers Jones is going to be a P9. He is minus 2 spots, but man, oh man, what a race for him. And I love that paint scheme. He's looking good out there. We'll see what he can do moving forward. In 10th, we have Luke Allen. So he's having a great night out here, up 9 spots from where he started. So a great night for him. We have Matt Burgess moving through the field up to P11th with Jose Ruiz in 12th.
Yeah, Matt Burgess, that's actually a really, really good recovery for him. He was spinning around and facing the wrong way. It seems like not too long ago as we come to 20 to go. So great recovery for this A&W Mountain Dew number 12. And we'll have to see how this all shakes out at the end. And then, like you said, Jose Ruiz in his U.S. Air Force number 23, Matt Gale, right up his trumpet.
Sure is. But Matt, like I said, he had a really good run here last season. So he had a top 5 finish. I think that if that did not happen to him earlier on, he could have had that tonight. Right now, it's still possible, but it's going to be a lot more difficult for him. Matthew Gale in 13th. Micah, he's going to be in 14th. Francis Hamilton out there in 15th. We have Jacob Locklear, who is not looking forward to the race tonight. He is out there 16th, and a solid race. You cannot complain. Kevin, he is out here in 17th. Joseph Turley in 18th in that 97 machine. Dylan, who is not even going to race tonight, he's up 4 spots, P19th. And Andrew Sanford, he's going to be in the top 20.
Yeah, Andrew Sanford again, right where he qualified. Jacob Palmer in that number 39 Ford SciAps machine. Kind of really digging the front end of the new Fords, Eliza. They just look really fast. Still the
They
biggest fan
do.
of the Chevrolet, but really really liking the front end of these Fords now.
Yeah, they're looking pretty sharp. We got Chuck Cody, James Holzer, Brendan Book. None of these guys, unfortunately, on track at the moment. So we'll see. But yeah, they are off track. Matt O'Brien, still P2, almost 11. Yeah, we're at 11 seconds behind our leader of Andrew Wisdom. You can see it down the track right there. Let's go on board with Andrew and see what's going on, if anything, behind him. You can see the 37 goes off track a little bit. He is not for position at the moment. He would be a lap down, it looks like.
It's interesting. Some of these guys, Andrew Sanford, Jacob Palmer, Dylan Robb, Joe Turley, Kevin Dallator, and a few others, they would love to be able to say more often than not that they beat James Holzer at any given week. Well, tonight they can, by virtue of maybe a little bit of bad luck on James Holzer's part, or maybe just not, maybe the car just wasn't feeling the way that he likes it. Originally, Holzer said that this was going to be a part-time season for him. But with the kind of run that he was getting and the way he was feeling, he was going to be full time, if I'm not mistaken from what he said last week or the week before. So a little bit of an off week for Holzer, but you can bet your bottom dollar he'll be back.
You know, when I was told that he would be part-time this season, I thought to myself, there's no way that is going to last. I know Holzer, he's too competitive.
Yep.
He's going to find a way to make it here, and that could have been one of the circumstances tonight where maybe he really couldn't, but he wanted to come out, make a couple of laps, and at least get some points. So he did just that, but man, oh man. David says, come on, Wisdom. He's thinking that he's going to win, and I'm with you. He is so strong, is doing a great job out there. He won last season, so all bets are on Wisdom.
Oh, with 18 to go, looks like the one of Brody Falliker decided he was going to take that number 1 FIWB Esports Camaro down pit road, taking 4 tires, Eliza. So seems like tires were worth a premium for him. With 18 to go, he's ready to go till the end, I believe.
Yeah, I know we have Micah who is on a pit road also. I know it is definitely, you have to come in. You have to get fuel, at least. Some of these guys, if you're rough on the tires, if you're too rough on the brakes, you will have to get new tires. But if you can save that and you make sure that you're easy on everything, you should not have to take any tires.
With all the lockups that we've seen getting into some corners, like we saw between the 17 and the 43 earlier in the race, I'm sure that a lot of these guys, maybe they have the brake package in these next gen cars in the back of their mind. Hey, these things don't stop on a dime at all. And they're getting on them just a little bit harder to make sure that they are woed up enough to be able to get into a corner or to avoid another competitor.
We're on board once again with Jordan McGraw, who is right behind Matt O'Brien up ahead. So he's fallen back a little bit, about 4 seconds behind. But you can see him up there. If you come around the corner, you see him up there. These guys are definitely starting to separate. Wisdom, he just has to, keep what he's doing on his mind, not worry about anyone else. And he's got this in the bag. But we do have 17 to go. Anything can happen, and we're at the point where we're running into some traffic. So most of these guys will just say, yes, just let me know where you want me to go. I'm going to move over. But for some of those, it can be a close call, because if you come up on some of these guys and they just notice it, they could get a little nervous, maybe do a self spin, and that could be some close calls right there.
Yeah, talk about traffic right now. Only the top 18 are on the lead lap. So Joe Turley sitting 18th in that number 97 Chevrolet is the last car on the lead lap. And with the pace that Andrew Wisdom has been setting, he's gonna definitely catch some of these guys pretty sooner than later. It's just phenomenal how much speed he's got in that number 51 Bush machine compared to some of these other guys. Matt O'Brien, he's not catching Andrew Wisdom whatsoever. Jordan McGraw, like you said, he's lost a little bit of time to Matt. Tom Flitcroft, he's a good 7 seconds plus behind him, and then Tom Harmon, he's up 5 spots to finally crack the top five.
Yeah, he's kind of snuck up on us, Pete. We saw him. He was 5 spots behind, so P10, but man, he has moved up and looking really solid. But I got to go back to Tom Flitcroft. He's had a rough couple of races where I know he was super frustrated, said, you know what? I think I might just be putting too much pressure on myself and I'm taking it too seriously. I just need to go out, have some fun, and I think things will start to fall in place. And tonight he was showing that. P4 so far for COTA, having a phenomenal run. He's got to be super proud of his efforts. He's got some really great speed.
Eliza, over the years, I've known people that have gone into leagues and communities, clubs, and they they get to the point where it almost feels like a job and they get burnt out very, very fast. You have to take this as fun. Yeah, it's a sim. Yeah, you call it a game, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the night, when this is all said and done, they're all, getting cozy, warm in their bed, going to sleep. They're not actually being paid millions of dollars by sponsors and, telling their spotter good night or what. They're at home behind a rig that they paid a lot of money for, and they're here just for fun. We've all got that competitive spirit in us. That's why we're here. And Tom Flitcroft, definitely one of those. He's been around this kind of activity for many, many years. The guy, if it's got wheels, he's willing to race it.
Cody Kalinka makes his way onto pit lane. We have Matt on board right now. He's right behind Luke Allen, but man, that was a three-man pack right there, and it was about to get very interesting, but Cody is on his way in. Let's see if he takes tires. I'm kind of curious, but Pete, it is a game, but like you also mentioned, the competitiveness of it. You know how us drivers are. It's not that easy to just say, it's just a game. We're not going to take it too seriously. It's a game at the end of the day, but when you're in the race and things are moving and your blood is pumping, you're so competitive. And that most likely is going to overtake everything else, especially when you have a trophy on the line. So it's fun to watch. It's fun to have a little bit of competitiveness, but when it gets to be too much, that's when you need to back off a little bit and just say, hey, we need to come out here for fun.
That's right. Cody Kalinka answered your question, took 4 Brandon Weagle Feel Goods, went ahead and grabbed Max Fuel, and he's back out on track and looks like he fell back to P13. But when everybody cycles out, he's going to gain some spots just by virtue of having some fresher tires. But yeah, I'm very competitive as well. I may not race as much as I'd like to, but man, I have fun being in the booth with the likes of you and getting out there on track with you and a whole bunch of the people that we all know that we've kind of grown with over the last literally several years. So sometimes do people get heated in these machines? Absolutely. But again, that's just the competitive spirit.
It's just how it goes. David says, dang, this wants me to come out of retirement for next year, but it was well deserved. Hey, you know what? If you want to come out of retirement, you come on out and have some racing. It's fun. It is definitely fun.
Mm-hmm.
Tom's parents rooting on Mr. Flitcroft, who's currently sitting P4. We were just talking about him doing absolutely amazing. We have Dylan on pit road, and I also see Harmon and Jimmy Cocker. Now, I'm curious. I've talked all night about these guys not needing tires. Let's see if they take tires. So far, everyone has taken tires, Pete.
Yeah, how about those three literally nose to tail? It seems like either they came in that way or some were just able to gain more time on the others getting to that commitment cone. But so far, the 68, his right side's gone up, now his left. So, yeah, For brand new Eagle Feel Goods for Mr. Harmon. Also, Matt Burgess, the right side on his number 12 A&W machine. I'm sure he's probably been screaming for tires for quite a while now, and now the left sides go up for him as well. So, yeah, it seems like 4 tires all the way through.
Yeah, I think this weather has caught some guys off guard because when you're running those officials, it is completely gray out, cold down, you name it. So I'm thinking that this weather has something to do with it because a lot of the drivers I was talking to saying the tires are not important. It's not a thing here. You don't have to worry about it. You just go in, fuel up, get out. But we're on a clear day. That sun is out. Shining is going to make things a little bit more slippery. You've seen a lot of guys really using those brakes, and I think that's affecting tire wear. So far, as Pete says, every driver has taken tires. So halfway through at this minute, 15 to go. Wisdom, 15 seconds, almost out ahead of Matthew O'Brien.
When the race started, I kind of looked at the track temp and the air temp a little bit. It was 108 on track right now, 112, and the air temp has also gone from 80 to 81. So definitely, definitely heating up. That's going to make it a little bit more greasy out there. The cars are going to be a little bit more slick, a little bit more of a hand food. You probably start to see drivers turn to the right more than the left coming off of the corners. It's gonna be interesting if things continue to climb that way. We'll have to see. As you said, now 14 to go. Andrew Wisdom leading the way.
On board with Matthew O'Brien. We're gonna see what his mile per hour is, what gear he's in. Currently through the S's, going around 90 to 100 miles per hour, and you can see it slowing down. But these guys are on fresh tires once again. I don't believe O'Brien is, but from fourth on, we have Flitcroft who just went in, Luke Allen who just went in. So these guys coming out going to be back to cold tires, and so we'll see. Got maybe some spin outs, but they're going to have to take it easy, Pete.
Yeah, they really will. They'll have to take it easy for probably about the good first lap and a half, maybe even two. Again, this track a good just about 3.5 miles long, uphill, downhill, very few actual straightaways. I mean, you can see the track map on the bottom right hand side. I'm sorry, the top right hand side of the screen. There is very few straightaways here at COTA.
Yeah, you have one good back stretch, and then you have the front stretch, which has a huge incline. So the big elevation change, if I'm not mistaken, I thought they said yesterday on broadcast 134 feet incline. I don't know if that's correct. If you guys know anything about it, please let me know, because that is just insane to me. So you have all that speed going into turn one. You have to brake early, and some of these guys, you saw them, they were smoking as they were trying to brake. So definitely going to affect the tire wear, affect your braking. And once you make those tires angry and overheated, man, it is difficult to try to not spin that car.
Yeah, Kevin Dalator making his way down pit road in that number 92 Guinness machine. So Kevin, the latest guy to go on down pit road, and Eliza, he's following suit for brand new Eagle Feel Goods.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the meme. The theme of tonight is going to is going to be taking those tires. Wisdom, he has not gone in yet. Our top three drivers still yet to come in. So very, very interesting. They're going to have to come in to take fuel. So we know they're going to come in at some point. We'll see. I don't know. I've kind of given up on they are not going to take tires. It is proven that these guys are really needing it. So I think that they're going to do it. We'll just see fuel-wise if they just try to hold out as long as possible.
Yeah, like you said, first through third, Andrew Wisdom, Matt O'Brien, and Jordan McGraw yet to go down pit road. Matt Gale right now sitting P8 up 6 spots. He also has not brought his machine down pit road. Jacob Locklear for Team FTR right now sitting P16 in his number 84 Toyota. Still also out there on the original Feel Goods, and that is it. Everybody else has been on pit road somewhere, it seems like between lap 11 all the way through lap 17.
Yeah, these guys, great race. Clean so far. I don't see anything going to happen, but they are definitely spread out. Let's see if we have any close battles out here. Rivers Jones, you can see he's in a pack of about 5 drivers right now, so that can change at any second. Jacob Locklear goes on to pit lane. He was one of the ones who had stayed out so far. Cody Kalinka, P12, and he's going to be right behind Rivers Jones.
Yeah, going through the S's, 90. Sorry, yeah, the that Coca-Cola machine working his way through that Hooters 79 for Kalinka, and it looks like Dylan Robb off track, smoking him up just a little bit. He's going to come back down through the grass. Eliza, something that we haven't talked about are those incident points. Hold on to it, Cody. There you go. Good job, sir. Way to lock it down. We haven't really talked much about incident points and those that we've seen kind of collecting some. Dylan Robb has got to be up on the that counter.
Yeah, I think a couple of these drivers are. I haven't seen anyone just go in, but our leader, Andrew Wisdom, he is on pit road taking, are we going to take tires? Trying to see, no. Unless I went in with him late, it looks like he may not have taken tires. We'll see what the, how he comes out for that. But yeah, it's going to be just extremely close, Pete. O'Brien is going to be the leader right now before he goes in. Jordan McGraw in second, and Andrew Wisdom had such a huge lead. He comes out P3.
Yeah, that is saying so much for that driver, and a whole lot for the 43. Again, the 51 of Andrew Wisdom and the 43 of Matt O'Brien, they are teammates. Jordan McGraw there with Team FTR of Jose Ruiz and Jacob Locklear and a few others. So Jordan's he should be coaching up Team FTR, saying, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what my break points are," and a lot of that is also done during practice as well. But in race time, if you're feeling frustrated, right, that's really when you reach out to your teammates.
You know, he's good at putting things aside, Jordan is, and he is the road course guy for FTR. Absolutely loves him. That's his thing. He is known to be really good. Take a look at how fast he is diving in there, trying to beat out Jacob Palmer as he makes his way through, stays in the limits. So very, very close for these guys. But yeah, he loves it. He's got the patience for it. Papa Bear says 133-foot elevation change. I knew it was around there, 133, 134. That's an incredible change for an incline. So, and that's headed in to turn 1. Racer Rec, what's happening? Hope you're doing well. We're having fun out here at COTA. Had to cancel it last week for technical difficulties. iRacing was having some issues. We're out here tonight. And next week, we're going to go straight from a road course to a short track, Richmond.
Absolutely, D-shaped 3/4 mile oval, Richmond, Virginia. That's going to be it's going to be a great race. But you know what? Going back to that pass that Jordan McGraw made on Jacob Palmer, Jacob Palmer did a great job of what's called staying predictable, making sure that Jordan felt very, very comfortable getting around him. Jacob stayed in a line all around the outside, checked up enough for Jordan McGraw to get on by and not really cause him to lose too much speed. Great job.
Andrew Wisdom sitting P3. He was our leader for the entire race pretty much. And you see, he is making his way up to Jacob Palmer. We'll see how he gets around. Slowing up a little bit, Jacob moves out of the way, out of the racing line. Andrew Wisdom makes his way through out of the S's. And not too far from here, we're going to see Jordan McGraw in second. And Jordan is going to try to keep Andrew Wisdom back there, but at the speed that Wisdom is running, that is going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah, Jordan McGraw staying at a pretty even 7 seconds behind Matt O'Brien. You know, with 15 to go, or was that maybe we were at lap 15, Andrew Wisdom already had 15 seconds on the field. He was literally gaining at least 1 second per lap, maybe running a little bit slower, a little bit faster in different laps. But the man, again, this kind of racing is just in his wheelhouse. And Eliza, like I said before, some people just had the joke who was racing for second.
Yeah, Wisdom has his eye on Jordan McGraw. You can see him as they're going to come around the corner here, making his way around that particular corner. Andrew Wisdom has just got to make his way up, and I know Jordan is doing everything he can to keep him back there. Matt O'Brien, he's doing a phenomenal job. He's out here in the front. We'll see what he can do, but he's got a little ways before he has to worry about Wisdom. About 13 seconds back, and McGraw about 6 seconds behind him. So very, very tight racing, and it looks like O'Brien, he's on pit lane.
Yeah, Matt O'Brien bringing that Family Dollar number 43 down pit road. That's going to give Jordan McGraw the lead, or I should say he's earned the to earn that lead since he was able to stay so close to Matt O'Brien and Andrew Wisdom over time. But now I'm really curious. Andrew Wisdom, yeah, he's fast. He's out there on old tires. What does Jordan McGraw and Matt O'Brien do? Do they take tires, knowing that Andrew Wisdom did not? Maybe trying to gain just a little bit. Are the older tires going to be worth that much when you're that good on road courses? It's going to be interesting to see.
Take a look at Matt O'Brien. He's got some traffic ahead of him, some behind, but man, it was looking kind of congested as he was making his way through the field, trying to make his way back up to second. He's currently sitting P3, 17 seconds behind. Jordan McGraw getting that extra point for this race for leading a lap. Hopefully he can make his way all the way around and lead that lap. I'm not sure if he had it the last time, but it's going to be tight. Wisdom is about 5 seconds behind, and he is quickly gaining. I want to say a shout out to Chloe David. He says, here comes 51. I know what you meant, David. And once again, if you guys want to give WoodyxCA a follow, he is this season's sponsor. I'm going to put the link out here. If you can, give him a follow. Show him some love out there in the streams. He does NASCAR. He does Call of Duty. Give him a follow. Come back on over.
Yeah, just hit 10 to go. Brought to you by WoodyxCA on Twitch. Like Eliza said, go on over, smash the follow button. Go on out there. Tell him Eliza says, hey, Pete says, hey, or hey, I was sent to you. I heard you might stream some of the stuff I'd like to watch, and get into a conversation with him. I promise, just like Eliza and me, we don't bite. When you come in, say hey, see what's going on. Come out, hang out, chat it up, as I like to say. And always great to have you. It's always great to put on some kind of a stream, no matter what it's for, and know that somebody's out there watching. You've caught their interest, maybe holding a conversation. It's always a lot of fun, and it makes that stream a little bit more worth it.
Top 5, Jordan McGraw still leading the field, 4 seconds ahead of Andrew Wisdom. Matt O'Brien is going to be P3, 16 seconds behind. Tom Flitcroft are going to be 4th, and he's having a great night. This is one of these tracks where, staying the same and being repetitive every lap, hitting your marks, that is going to be more important than being fast. Because some of these drivers, if you're trying to be too fast and you make a mistake, you're going off track, you're getting yourself some penalties, and you're slowing yourself down. So these drivers that are up here are going to be more consistent in their runs. And it's very, very technical. So they're doing a great job. You got to keep your head on and keep in the game. And they're doing a great job.
Tom Flitcroft, talking about him, his pit time was a 42.12 from start to exit, and he did take 4 tires. So I got to give him a whole lot of credit, because he didn't lose a mass amount of time going down and doing what he needed to do. Where the 51, we noted he didn't take tires. I don't believe that Matt O'Brien took tires. It's going to be interesting to see what Jordan McGraw does when his turn to go down pit road comes and goes. But right now, Eliza, he is the only one still out there on the tires he started with.
Yeah, he is the only one, and I'm thinking he's going to go in this time around. If not, I'm going to say next time, but we're coming down to the wire. We have 9 laps to go, and I say we're coming down the wire, but we still got like 18 minutes left. This is over a 2-minute lap time here, so it is pretty insane. Like I said, very technical, and I'm thinking he's going to come around this time. Lucas, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. RC, I know we don't want it to crash. We're hoping not. And yeah, there he goes. He is coming down pit road. Our leader, Jordan McGraw, the only one left that has not taken his one and only stop that is needed. And here he comes.
Yeah, but Andrew Wisdom, he's going to go ahead and re-inherit the lead. So the 51 Busch machine goes buzzing by as Jordan McGraw still on pit road, just now getting to his pit stall. And Eliza, right side's not going up, neither's the left's. Fuel only for driver 34, and he's away.
So some of these drivers that are taking it easy, they're taking a gamble. They're trying to hope that their tires can hold out tonight. The rest of the drivers outside of the top 4 or 5 have gone in. Why does it say a couple of these drivers wrecked? Very close call, but Jordan, he's got some drivers behind him. 20 seconds behind our leader of Andrew Wisdom with 8 to go in season 3 here at COTA. Matthew O'Brien in second. We have Tom in fourth. Brody Falliker in P5. Jimmy Cocker up 12 spots to P6. Thomas Harmon in 7th. Matt, he's going to be in 8th. And we have Francis Hamilton in 9th. Luke Allen going to run out the top 10. Meanwhile, Rivers Jones, he comes down pit road.
Yeah, Luke Allen, good job for him. Up 9 spots to climb into the top 10. You mentioned him earlier as the biggest mover. Well, Jimmy Cocker now up 12 in that number 11. Yo, him and Team FIWB ran a whole lot of practice laps even before last week's practice open here for Shake and Bake. They were really focused in. I believe they had like a public lobby up for COTA, and they were all flat at it. They had like a full team practice going to put on the best possible show here on Monday night.
That is for sure. Cody Kalinka, he's going to be P11th. Micah is going to be 12th. Just solid night for these guys. You have to be super proud of where they're running at here. We have Jose. He's going to be right where he started in qualifying, P13. Rivers Jones is going to be 14th. Matthew Gale, 15th. Jacob Locklear, he is up 5 spots from where he started in 16th. And in 17th, we have Andrew Sanford. Joseph Turley in 18th. And Kevin Delator is in 19th. Dylan, he's out on pit road. He's going to be P20 right now.
Yeah, Dylan Robb is having a hard time staying on track, but I got to give this guy a whole lot of credit as he pulls away from his pit stall. He's not a big fan of road courses and doing his very best to get max points on a track that he knows, hey, I'm not going to do very well, but I'm going to do my best.
Andrew Wisdom still our leader. You know, the penalties, they're not showing us how many penalties that they have, but I'm kind of curious, have we had any drivers that had to go in to serve a penalty? And I can tell you, you are not allowed to take any tires, no fuel, no service whatsoever to serve that penalty. If you do, you will have to come back around again, and that would be absolutely devastating to your race. So you have to make sure you uncheck all of your tires. You have to make sure you take no fuel. I'm curious. I know last year we had a couple of drivers that had to serve some penalties. Well, I'm kind of curious about this year, Pete.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have an incident counter either. So it is kind of interesting, or would be interesting to know if anybody has had to go on down pit road. And did they forget? 51 almost losing it there, but able to corral it back underway. You got to wonder if he might be regretting not taking even 2 tires, because he has definitely slowed it down. For example, his last lap is a 2:14.31. I've seen it as high as a low 2:15, but his best lap is a 2:13.42. So still just about a second off, but very loose.
Matt O'Brien, let's see what he's running out here. He's got 2:15 for his last lap. So, yeah, these guys are a little bit off here. Jordan McGraw, he is out here P3, 22 seconds behind, but still off and running. The lap times definitely taking a hit with these drivers that are not taking tires for their stop. Jordan
Absolutely, Tom
McGraw
Flitcroft.
goes way out. You can see that's going to be an X for him as he takes the final left-hander onto the front stretch.
You got to wonder if Jordan McGraw is kind of forced into taking no tires. I mean, Tom Flitcroft is a ways behind him. Would it have been worth it to spend that 14, 15 seconds or so to grab those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods and get on back out? Or he saw Matt O'Brien not take, he saw Andrew Wisdom not take. Did that kind of make the decision for him that he had to just grab fuel and get out, even though that your rear tires have almost no grip, but now you got a heavy gas tank?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you see those leaders going in and not taking tires, you know that you have to do the same. Otherwise, you're giving up way too much time. You would have to be a lot faster in order to make up that time and gain what you lost on pit road. So for him, it's got to be that he had to go in, and you can see these guys getting very, very loose. We've seen it from Andrew Wisdom. We've seen it from Jordan McGraw. Matthew O'Brien, he does really, really well at saving those tires. So I'm kind of curious if we'll see an issue with him being loose out there and not having any grip. We'll see what happens.
Jacob Locklear lapped by the leader. So right now he is the first car 1 lap down. That's going to put Matt Gale in P15 now as the last car on the lead lap in that number 67 Republic of Gamers Toyota TRD Camry. Man, the new front end of the Camrys as well, just kind of like the Ford, what do they call them? Ford Dark Horses, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, nice looking Camry as well.
Savage, I don't know why it's not telling you, but I'm glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in. Andrew Wisdom is just getting away from the field, putting a gap. You saw him go in earlier. He has since, Pete. He almost lost it right there, and that is something that he's going to have to really, really watch. And he's still gaining time even after that. Although, here we go. Now starting to show as O'Brien is making his way around. Lost almost a full second just from getting loose there.
Yeah, these again, these older tires, I really think it was going to be worth it. But Andrew Wisdom, he's gone. 15 seconds ahead of Matt O'Brien. He's back to where he was well before that first pit stop, or before pit stops even began. Jordan McGraw again still rocking P3, several seconds behind Matt O'Brien as well. Big shout out again to Tom Flitcroft for holding down P4 up 2 spots in that Mountain Dew number 8. And Brody Falker leading the way for Team FIWB in that number 1 Camaro, up 4 spots, sitting P5.
Yeah, how about that? Seeing the improvement in some of these drivers is, I say it so much, but it's so true.
Yep,
it's just so fun to see what they can come out here and do and accomplish. And he's doing such a phenomenal job out here. I've been on track with him. I've raced season and a half with him, and it's just fun to watch what they can accomplish. And I think he's going to be a contender for a top 5 spot here. Absolutely.
I used to think that Jimmy Cocker last year and the year before that running that number 31 Virginia Tech machine, this year switching it up to throw me off, running the 11. I used to think Jimmy Cocker was the flagship car for Team FIWB, but I think he's got to kind of share that honor now between himself, the 1, and possibly the 48 as well. It seems like those are the cars that are running very, very consistent, and I don't think it's going to be long before the rest of the team is on board.
Absolutely. And they're the type of team that they're going to help each other out. They're going to share the secrets and make each other better. I know they had a great spotter out here last season. I'm not sure if he's joining them this season, but they're always cheering each other on and making sure that everyone is doing what they can to help each other out. So you got to love to see it for FIWB. They do a great job on track and off track, and it shows. And Thomas Harmon out here right behind Jimmy Cocker. That might be a battle pretty soon here for P6, but this race is coming to a close shortly. 4 laps to go. These guys just passed the start-finish lines. Not too much longer, Pete.
Yeah, not much longer at all. It seems like just a lap or 2 ago, we were watching the cars out there, and it looked like it was a little bit of a snake going through the S's. Now there are literally cars almost everywhere throughout the track. Uh, Andrew Wisdom going through the S's right now. Meanwhile, everybody else very, very far behind him.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom going through those S's. So fun to take, I might add. One of my favorite parts of the track, but you really have to nail it. It's so easy if you get on the throttle a little too much, a little too soon. You will find yourself sideways and perhaps into a wall. But the trickiest part for me is going to be right where Matthew Gale is right here. You got to be very, very, very gentle going through these corners. You can see some tire marks where drivers were losing it and trying to catch their way around. But, 12 through 16, those corners, very, very difficult. Some paperclip corners as you see him coming around, but he nails it and off he goes.
Yeah, 67. Knowing by now you have a great feel. Well, actually, you probably had a great feel of what was going on with your car. No 15, 20 laps ago, since it's a 31 lap event this evening, but or at least you would hope you would, and that the car is not showing or doing anything new as the race has gone on. But yeah, he's pretty much got his points where he needs to start checking up. He's got a good feel of the points, knows what he can do with the throttle, can't stab it. Got to kind of treat it like there's an egg under the throttle pedal, as old Darrell Waltrip used to say years and years back. But yeah, gotta give it to Matt Gale, week in and week out. This guy, he stays up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning in order to race here in Shake and Bake. 5 hour difference between where we are and where he is.
Absolutely. I love that he's racing in here, and I hope he's having a ton of fun, doing a phenomenal job out here tonight. And I know we have a few drivers like that that come out here from overseas, and it is so early in the morning. I couldn't do it, but I love that they're out here, and huge props to them. Matt O'Brien in second, 15 seconds behind our leader, who shortly ago he made his way to 3 to go. And once again, back in the S's, I feel like that's where I always catch Wisdom. It's through the S's, but here we go. Jordan McGraw, he is making his way through turn 1, now into turn 2, and so on. So far, 26 seconds behind, but he is currently sitting P3, so if he can hold on to that, great finish for him tonight on the podium, and we might see him in the booth after. But Pete, I'll tell you, there's different parts of this race where at first you're excited, you want to be out here, and then the laps are moving on, you're getting into the rhythm of things, and you're feeling pretty good, and then you go into pit road and you have a second to breathe, and you're thinking, wow, I'm kind of exhausted, this race is wearing me out. And then by the end of it, you're just absolutely exhausted.
Oh, absolutely. Even coming, 5, now, 4, now 3 laps to go. You're still thinking you have another, what, 3, 6, 9, 10, what you have 10 and a half more miles to go, even though we're only talking about 3 laps. Usually it's 3 laps around Talladega is not even 10 miles. So again, one of the longest tracks that we're going to go to this season. And, we're still 3 laps to go. By now, we're talking about the next lap, but not so much. 43, I got to give him a little bit of credit here, Eliza. He has stayed pretty much in a consistent 15 seconds behind Andrew Wisdom. It's kind of unfortunate that he's lost that much time to the 51, and again, to his teammate, because I think it would have been one hell of a battle coming to the checkers, now just 2 laps away.
Thomas Harmon, he was in a battle with Jimmy Cocker, and for P6, he took that over. These guys were too wide going through several corners, but it is Thomas Harmon who made his way out front, gained 4 spots from where he started. Jimmy Cocker up 11 spots from where he started. He is still on Thomas Harmon. He's still on his rear bumper there, so we'll see if he tries to make a move to get that position back. 2 laps to go. We have Andrew Wisdom, who is making his way in the lead. And, man, unless he spins out, and I knock on wood right here, he is almost 16 seconds ahead. I think he is safe. He just needs to run his line, tune everything else out, tune the noise out, and just keep it on the track.
Yeah, talking about the 68 and the 11, those guys still nose to tail coming off the last corner, heading up through the elevation across the start stripe. The 11, the only time that he's actually lost just a little bit of time is when they've come to corners. He didn't want to get into the back end of the 68, either that or he lost a little bit, little sight on his braking zone as they're actually side by side coming down the hill.
They were side by side, and Thomas Harmon is still holding it out, but Jimmy Cocker's got a little bit of a run as they head through the S's, and this is a tricky spot. I do not want to go too wide through here. Too easy to lose it, so if I am Jimmy, I'm just going to hold on, stay real close to his bumper, and when we hit the back straight, I'm going to absolutely try to nail that throttle ahead of time and make my way past Thomas Harmon. We'll see how he fares, but you can see he's staying right on that bumper, putting the pressure on. And when he comes around here, we'll see if he can't make his way around.
Man, I'll tell you a whole lot of credit to that 11 as he goes ahead and pulls to the inside, pulls to the left side, I should say. And 68, there's side by side, almost some contact, able to keep it moving. The 11 kindly checks up not to get or take that spot from the 68 in that manner. I believe I just heard it in comms. He actually apologized for getting into Averill just a little. Again, going to pull to the right side. 68's going to come down, block it. The 12's watching all this unfold.
Battle for 6. It is definitely heating up and still going on. He seems a little bit stronger than the 68, but the 68, I've raced so many races with him, so many different series. He's not going to give it to you very easily. He's great at defending his position, and you can see it right here. He's not going to be dirty about it, but he knows what line to take and when to take it, and we're starting to see a couple of drivers right behind Mr. Harmon. He's got Matt, I do believe his teammate, in the 12 machine just 2 cars back.
Yeah, this 11 absolutely throwing that Camry all kinds of slideways, just not able to get it done. But Eliza, while we've been keeping up on these guys, we are under a white flag. Andrew Wisdom has taken it 16 plus seconds ahead of P2. Matt O'Brien still, Jordan McGraw sitting P3. Tom Flitcroft, and now Brody Falliker takes over P5.
Yeah. This battle is absolutely crazy for Jimmy Cocker, though, and Thomas Harmon. But as you said, it is the final lap. Andrew Wisdom has had a massive run to the finish here, and we're going to see him going through what I call the trickiest part of the track. I don't know if he would agree, but we'll find out soon enough. But he has done a phenomenal job tonight. We'll see him coming around the final few corners, and we'll bring him home as the winner here at COTA. But man, I'm trying not to jinx it, David. He says, Frozen, don't you jinx this. He's been cheering him on the entire time. We're coming around turn 17, I do believe, and 18, and just a couple more corners. You know he's exhausted, but excited. This was our champion from season 2. This is going to be his win here tonight at COTA as we come around the final corner. Here we go. We're going to bring him home. Finish line is right around there. Here he goes. Very loose. He gets on the throttle, finishes it. He is your winner here at COTA. Huge congratulations to him. Matt O'Brien is going to bring it home around the final corner. He will be P2. Pete.
Yeah, P2 from Matt O'Brien. Jordan McGraw just going to be a few more seconds behind him in that Sega Genesis Team FTR number 43 off the final corner now. Jordan McGraw's got to be extremely happy with his performance this evening. Great podium spot for him. Tom Flitcroft in that number 8 Mountain Dew Amp Energy machine. He's still got a few more turns to go. But great P4 for Tom. Way to hold on all night long. And then Brody Falliker again to round out the top 5. Andrew Wisdom, one hell of a race. Masterfully run. Very, very strong. No doubt from the beginning.
Yeah, these guys still coming around. We got Jimmy Cocker. He is going to be coming around that final corner. Thomas Harmon, who is going to hold out that P6 position. Jimmy Cocker is going to be 7th. And you can see Matt Burgess trying to put all into it, trying to get that 7th position. But it is Jimmy who's going to take it home. Matt in 8th. And we're going to have Francis Hamilton with a solid 10 finish tonight. He's going to be P9. Luke Allen is going to be 10th. So great night for these guys. Micah is going to come around the corner, and if he can hold on to it, he's going to be 11th with Cody Kalinka coming home in 12th.
And how about Jose Ruiz finishing P13 after starting P13? So a full race running right where you qualified to go to show he put everything he had into his qualifying lap as well as his race laps. Rivers Jones 14th, Matt Gale P15.
All right, let's get these guys in the booth. Andrew Wisdom, who is coming around, he's going to be celebrating shortly. Woody, what's up? How are you? I'll say it again, you guys, give him a follow. We'll put the link out there. But this season is brought to you by WoodyxCA. He streams NASCAR, he streams Warzone. If you enjoy those, be sure to give him a follow. So go click that link, check him out, follow him. Come back and we'll get these driver interviews underway.
Andrew Wisdom just absolutely elated. A little bit of a drifting session now as he brings that Busch Light Toyota Camry TRD machine. And man, this guy's got to be absolutely elated. It's going to be a great points night for him. He knew road courses are his thing, or knows road courses are his thing. So he probably had COTA kind of check marked or circled on the calendar as he's just going to go ahead and burn them down.
Huge celebration for Andrew Wisdom, just burning it out in that 51 machine. Huge congratulations to you, Wisdom. Man, you were just absolutely a powerhouse just out of the gate here tonight, putting down 16-second gap over your teammate O'Brien here. How was your night?
Yeah, it was fine. It was pretty straightforward after turn one, lap one, mostly because my teammate got dumped. I think.
They
Hopefully,
know.
hopefully that wasn't my fault. I don't know if it was or not yet. I haven't looked back at it, but yeah, like it was fine. I knew we were gonna have like pretty decent pace, and then messed up qualifying. Got an off track on the second lap, so missed out on pole by a little bit. But like overall, it was a good race. The car was a little tough to drive. It understeered quite a bit and slid a lot because the track temperature was pretty high. But yeah, like overall, not too bad. Like just pretty. I don't know. I guess it was about as straightforward as you could ask for a road course race to be.
All right, so we had one stop tonight. Did you take tires or did you not? Because I know most did. From what I saw, the leaders did not.
No, I didn't take them.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about the road course tire, or what's going on with that, but the cold tires, I think, even if for some reason you were like a little faster at the end of the race, I think you would have lost a lot of time trying to bring the tires back up to temperature. So it was just a fuel only call.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Now we saw you getting a little loose from not. I would assume that's from not taking tires. So, were you feeling that by the end of the race?
Nah, I mean, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't any worse at the end than it was throughout the rest of the race. It just, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, it was. I guess it was the end, and the car was a little lighter, so it wasn't quite as planted, and didn't necessarily. Luckily, I wasn't in a position that I had to keep it super tidy all the way to the end. So just, just trying to kind of learn everything I could about the car while I had a little bit of space to myself, and didn't have to, worry about every, every little corner and not slipping every tire. So, yeah, definitely a little bit looser at the end, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, you had a phenomenal run, and you won it last season. So back-to-back COTA winner here. Huge congratulations to you. Yeah, go celebrate.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Pete, you want to take it over to P2, Mr. O'Brien.
Yeah, Matt, you took the pole 3 wide into turn one. Everybody's kind of curious what was going to happen with the melee there, but pretty calm for the most part. I think you dropped back to about P9, and it seemed like lap after lap you were picking up the spots, laying them down, and pulling away. You finally saw the back bumper of the 34 for Jordan McGraw, got by him, and then started to gap him as well. After getting the pole and working your way through after that turn one issue, how much confidence did you have working through the 31 laps here tonight? Matt, you're muted, sir.
Okay. I don't know. I was confident in getting a top three, so I called my shot 2 weeks ago. But um, yeah. I mean, I I'm just gonna try to stay quiet about what happened to turn one because unnecessary to say the least. Um,
We
but
were we were we were kind of talking about what we thought we were going to see. Eliza and I were thinking, are we going to see three wide? Are we going to see four wide? Who's going to throw it in? Who's going to end up going way too out? Way too wide. Going to end up in up by the wall in the sand or whatever. You did lose some spots. It didn't look like you got a whole lot of damage. Maybe a little aggressive at the beginning, but at a track where it gets to be harder and harder to pass later on. Um, would you what lap to you would it be, the second, the third, or the fourth lap where you might try to outbrake somebody in order to gain some track position, or would you try to do it all right there on a start when everybody's equal?
I mean, it's generally at road racing. I mean, in a race like this, like 31 laps, you'll get where you're going to get speed wise, right? Like,
Mhm.
you have such a long time. I don't know.
Well, Matt, you usually I love coming to talk to you during the races if we have cautions or something like that. This
Yeah.
week, no cautions. There were some issues, but nothing big. We didn't see any kind of a miniature big one in order for the yellow to be thrown. So this week, runner up's going to really do great things for you in the points. Heading on to Richmond next year, that 3/4 mile D-shaped oval. What are you seeing in that magic, that crystal ball you got?
I like Richmond. I'm um we'll see how it is. I know last year we had a long run and then kind of then we got late race carnage, so we'll see. Hopefully it's cleaner than Bristol. But I feel pretty good about it, especially if you get long runs there.
I guess we'll have to see how many cars come out to queue next week. We got 25 this week. I'm sure it's going to be a great one. Congratulations on your P2. Points are definitely coming your way, sir. Eliza, the one and only J Max with you.
Jordan McGraw coming home with the podium finish today. How you feeling about your finish and how your race went?
I mean, this after the season we've had, this feels like a freaking win. Uh, just within 30 seconds, we're making progress. We're making progress. Within a half a minute, but yeah, just that was a tough race. Felt like the balance of the car was swapping all over the place. I was conservative at the start, and that let the 17 do something really that I was not expecting, and then that kind of created a kerfuffle there, to steal Kevin Harvick's word. Uh, but yeah, then got into was was having to kind of dock the 8 around to keep from T-boning Matt into another century, and then I got the other Matt in turn 2 a little bit, kind of got loose, but then once that kind of shook out, was just riding in Tom's dirty air. It finally got an opportunity to pass him, and at that point was just trying to put laps down, and uh, just tried to fend off the 43 as hard as I could, but I mean, I wasn't going to do anything dumb while doing it, and he just had a lot more pace than I had. There were a few laps where I was with them, or maybe even a touch better, but for the most part, they were taking a half second, full second out of me every lap. So that part kind of sucked, but for the most part, just being competitive, having a good finish, getting some points finally, for the first time really this season. Just having a finish we could be kind of proud of. That's nice. I'm excited about that. Definitely worn out, but I love this racetrack. I really enjoy driving here. It's very it's kind of like Mid Ohio on steroids, in that it throws a whole bunch of different types of corners and stuff at you, and this one kind of does all that and multiplies it. So just really enjoy the way this place drives. I think I'm in the minority on that one, but yeah, that was that was fun. Uh, no problems, no issues. Made it home where I feel like I belonged, and we'll go on to next week.
I mean, I couldn't have said it better. You had a great night and podium finish, great points, and it has been a tough start for you this season. And I know you do love road courses. You are definitely the road course driver for FTR. So great job out there tonight. How do you feel about Richmond?
I mean, Richmond's one of my like 2 or 3 worst tracks. I mean, I still have not figured out short track racing on iRacing yet. So one day I will maybe, but we'll go there and try to run a smart race and get a good finish. But that Richmond races can either go really green or they can go really chaotic, and uh, either one can benefit you. It depends on just how everything goes. So we'll see, and uh, we'll enjoy this one for a little while.
Enjoy the podium there, Jordan. Huge congratulations to Andrew on that win. He is season 2's champion and back-to-back COTA winner. So great night for him once again. Pete, it's always fun with you. We'll see you guys next week at Richmond. It's going to be a wild one.
Yeah, I can't wait. That 3/4 mile D-shaped oval, Richmond, Virginia, always lends its track to some great racing. What's going to prevail? Will the outside line come in? Will it be all the inside? What's going to happen? You'll have to find out next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Come on out. And again, thanks for coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, keeping Eliza and me company. Eliza, always fun with you also.
We'll see you guys next week. Take it easy. Thanks for tuning in.